Want to catch up with the founder of Women Love Tech. Her name is Robyn Foyster. She joins us each and every week on TheInformer. Robyn, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back. How are you, George?
I'm very well, and and you and I have been media people for quite some time now, and we understand what imagery is all about and what strong imagery can do, not only for the marketplace, but the messages it sends and the ripple that can go right around the world. And the reason I raise this topic is because we've seen the rise of a young star, a poet. Her name is Amanda Gorman. I think she's the youngest ever poet laureate. We saw her in Joe Biden's inauguration. She was part of the ceremony and people fell in love with her. Tell us more.
Yeah, look, she's just been this sort of like overnight success. People on the day of the inauguration paid more attention, I think, to Amanda Gorman than to any of the politicians, you know, and even Lady Gaga, you know, lost media coverage to this young, amazing woman.
Why do you think that was the case, Robyn? I have a feeling about why. I want to hear it from you, though, because woman to woman, you see this outstanding young person with such a gift, and it really resonated. As you say, when you relegate Lady Gaga, you know you're doing something special.
Yeah, and she's just been on the Super Bowl, and she's now on the cover of Time magazine. You know you've made it when you're on the cover of Time magazine, and she, you know, she's in her early 20s, youngest US poet laureate in America, and she's just a breath of fresh air, I would say. You know, that she has the gift, as you say, of being able to write and recite poetry. And her words are magical, and they're all about peace and unifying, you know, and you know, everyone together and bringing everyone together. And it's all of her messages about hope and inspiration. And I think it's sort of what it's very uplifting and makes you feel positive when you listen to her speak. You sort of, she's just like, it's musical.
Yeah, it is musical. I think it's like this beautiful, fresh beam of sunlight. And as you say, during all the darkness of the American election, remembering all the violence we saw, and out of all that darkness comes this bright spark, this beautiful silvery cloud, and it's in the shape and the face of a young woman, and she's done a beautiful job. We know Americans love rap, but rap is all about street and about grit and about everything. This is, as you said, touches a completely different nerve and different chord, doesn't it?
Yeah, and she even wore canary yellow. You talk about her being, you know, like, you know, a bright ray of sunshine. She looked like, you know, a bright ray of sunshine with her amazing canary yellow top, and she just, you know, spoke so eloquently. She didn't falter.
No.
She had everyone in the sort of like palm of her hands, and you know, it was from the heart. And I think she's very authentic. And everyone can tell the difference between someone who is just really authentic, and she spreads a word of hope. So she talked about, you know, the fact in her poem, "The Hill We Climb," which she wrote for that inauguration. She talked about being, you know, from a slave, you know, from slavery roots, to being able to be a woman that could even dare to be a president one day. And she even says when she wants to be president of the United States, which is the first year that she's able to based on her age. So that's gutsy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was mesmerised, as were so many who tuned in. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I had some very cynical professionals, friends of mine, who have seen so many things come and go, and they stood up and they went, "I had no idea." That was the highlight for me. And this is a battle-hardened news director who, you know, doesn't flinch for anything. He was in awe. That tells you something. Yeah.
And that's right. I think that the inauguration will be remembered as the day that the world got to find out about Amanda Gorman, not about the inauguration of the new president.
Yeah. She announced herself in a humongous way. What message for the rest of the young women in the world? What's the real message? That you can do anything?
The message there from her is really clear. It's you can achieve anything if you set your heart on it.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that's what we want to hear at the moment.
Well, Women Love Tech, you set yourself on this business and this journey a long time ago, and you've gone through different chapters and different iterations of this. You're going to show us some technology at the moment. Before we get to that, I want to talk about another topic that's reared its ugly head, and it's to do with Safer Internet Day, which is coming up. And a stat that really astounded me. Give us the stat that is really quite numbing, because it's the sort of stat you don't want to hear and we need to address.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that, for Internet Safety Day, the Australia's E-Safety Commissioner did some research into, what the situation is amongst teens. And it's, in terms of stranger danger, it's really bad. So these are the stats. Teenagers use an average of 4 different social media services, with newer services like TikTok gaining ground. Just over 4 in 10 teenagers had at least one negative online experience in the last 6 months to September 2020, with 3 in 10 having experienced unwanted contact from a stranger.
We've got to do more to protect them, haven't we?
Yeah. And there is an interesting other stat that came out, which was 9 in 10 teenagers sought to build positive online relationships after experiencing negative online behaviour themselves. So they revolted against it, and acted, with kindness more than ever before. And it actually reminds me of Grace Teen, who's the young, she's Australia's, Australian of the Year. She's in her 20s herself. She was the victim of stranger danger. Her speech was also absolutely amazing when she got up and accepted Australian of the Year. Like a lot of people hadn't heard of what she'd done, but they certainly have now. And I think she's going to really use that position of Australian of the Year in a very positive and powerful way. Her story, just briefly, was that when she was 15, living in Tasmania, her teacher had abused, had groomed her and then started abusing her, and it went on for many years. And she was never able to actually stand up and talk about the fact that she was a victim. Yet, because there's sort of a gagging order on the victims. And so she thought, this is not right. He was able to comment, and, he even said some very distasteful things that she had to listen to and then not be able to have a voice herself. So she took it to the Supreme Court and won, and changed the laws. And what a gutsy thing for a young woman in her 20s to do.
Now, the two women of two beautiful images of women, young women, and 2 very different messages. From Amanda, it was bright light and joy. And from Grace, it was courage, and courage under fire. And you're right, the teacher, how disgraceful that he should still be, thinking that he's done nothing wrong. Extraordinary. It tells you that as a predator, he has clearly one view, and he's always in the right and everybody else is wrong. Look, we're running out of time. There is a whole bunch of new technology that is really making life a lot easier, not only in the office, but also at home. And there's one bit that ASUS have come up with, and I know that there are people in our household who don't use one monitor, they use 2 or 3 to get their work done. But ASUS have come up with a new product that actually has, 2 monitors in one on one unit.
So it's 2 monitors. It's called the ASUS ZenBook Duo, and I've got it here. It's much more light and portable than previous computers. One of the things that computers are generally doing as a new trend is they've realised that people are working from home more and they're coming into the office part-time, and so they want not the heavy computer that they've had in the past. They want something that is light, that has really long-lasting battery that's not going to run out on them all the time, and they want to be able to multi-task. multitask with
Yeah.
their computer. And
Yeah.
this allows you to do that, because if you can see it here, there is, it's a screen that has got, it's duo. It's basically, it's got the top screen
And a bottom
then
screen.
bottom screen.
Fantastic.
And so you don't have to have two screens sitting in front of you and then looped from the one computer. This beautiful machine does it, automatically. And so it's a bit of a game changer. It's one of the first to do this.
Well, I have 3 monitors at home, and I drag different documents and use other monitors to record, or not record so much, but to take stock of what I've already written. So this is a fantastic bit of tool, and to think you can carry it anywhere you want, and with which much I know much
like that.
Oh, I can't.
And the thing is,
go on.
The thing is that in the past, I used to have, like a big computer and then 1, 2, sometimes even 3 screens. Well, you couldn't do that with it.
No. So we're seeing the industry answering the call, and with so many people now at home or in makeshift offices, understanding that the more functionality you get out of each and every piece of equipment, that much better you are. Robyn, I want you to tell us and take us on another journey next week if you can. Robyn Foyster joins us each and every week on The Informer. Women Love Tech is just one of the many businesses that she's involved in. She's a lover of supporting women to improve themselves. Robyn Foyster, continue doing what you're doing. We love you on The Informer. See you next week.
See you next week. Thank you, George.
All the best.
Bye.